Tourism to Zimbabwe has suffered under the rule of Robert Mugabe. Things are apparently looking up. There are a lot of positive signs for the future. So should tourists be visiting this wonderful country at this time? I'm here with Shaun Stanley, Director of Sales at World Big Cat Safaris. He's also a specialist in safaris to Zimbabwe. So Shaun, my first question to you as World Big Cat Safaris expert in this area, and someone who's really experienced the changes firsthand over the past few years, is would you encourage people to travel to Zimbabwe at this time, bearing in mind a lot of people don't want to fund the regime of Robert Mugabe?
Hi, yeah, it's a very good question. Yes, I definitely think people should go to Zimbabwe at this time. As long as people understand that a small percentage of their money is going to go into the Robert Mugabe government, that's through taxes, etc., etc. But majority of the money that the tourists are spending out in Zimbabwe at the moment is going into the local communities and local villages. I saw this firsthand when I was out there. Every single person working at the camps I stayed at were all local Zimbabweans from the local villages. The managers, the guides, the people cleaning the rooms, the trackers, everybody was all Zimbabwean. So it was really good to see that, especially considering what is happening. So definitely people should be going there.
The other key factor, I think, for a lot of people considering going to Zimbabwe is whether it's safe to travel throughout the country. What are your thoughts on that?
What I've found over years, and I've worked in Zimbabwe as a guide, I've been there a number of times with family and friends and all that sort of thing. I absolutely love Zimbabwe. The Zimbabweans are some of the friendliest people you will ever meet in Africa. I will always say to people going to anywhere in the world, you need to take precautions no matter where you're going, and I think this applies to Zimbabwe as well. The one thing to remember that on a safari in Zimbabwe, you're going to very remote areas away from Harare, away from Bulawayo and places like that, where if anything was going to happen, those are the main sorts of areas. And so to be honest, the only thing people really need to worry about are the wild animals. The camps are very remote. There's no fences around them, so you often have elephant or lion and stuff like that coming through camp.
And what really impressed you most about Zimbabwe, over and above other safari destinations in Africa? Why would you recommend Zimbabwe at the moment?
There's a few things. Very, very good wildlife. Zimbabwean guides are some of the best in Africa. They have to go through a very, very, very grueling training process. It takes several years to become a fully qualified guide. As I mentioned earlier, the fact that every single person working at the camps were all local. Camps are very, very small, very intimate. And the other great thing, because it's an emerging kind of safari destination again, trying to make a name for itself, the camps are very reasonably priced, especially if you're comparing it to neighbours like Botswana and Zambia, or even Tanzania and Kenya and places like that. So for an affordable safari experience with very good wildlife, Zimbabwe does offer all of that.
Sure. So it seems that for a number of reasons, it's a good time to go to Zimbabwe, if anything.
Yeah.